Lost is on.
Welcome back, everybody, to Bite Size Thursday, a subsidiary of Slate Media. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I need to say subsidiary because our buddy, we miss him on the podcast, and it's how he lives on in our hearts. You don't know who we're talking about, do we?
Dewey? Who's Dewey?
He's Dewey. That's so sad that Dewey's not going to be on the Malcolm in the Middle revival.
What are we watching?
Lost, because it's good, right?
We think.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Malcolm in the Middle.
What are we watching today?
We are watching the 15th episode of Season 3 of Lost, which is called Left Behind. And no, this is not a Kirk Cameron movie.
Dang it.
Is it Nick Cage?
Guess who's the featured character?
Oh, no.
We didn't say it last week. I was sitting here going, this is not going to be fun. Guess who it is, Jake?
It's not Kate.
It's Kate. We got another one. We had to wait a while. When was the last one? This is episode 15.
Well,
the last Kate one was episode 6.
So you were complaining the other day about how I don't say anything on this podcast. And I did well last week. I said a lot more. Prepare for me to just be an angry little boy.
Oh, I know. See, at least last week was an interesting one to talk about because as much as it's not important, it's at least different and it's kind of fun to talk about those two. And they're not in the show anymore. Whereas I have no idea what else we have to talk about with Kate's backstory. We're already pissed off enough of it.
Did we already see her blow up her mom's house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was last season.
What else is there then?
I don't know. Like, because the other episode this season was when she married, what's his name? Nathan Fillion, and stupidity ensues, and she calls the marshal. It's like, why would you do that? What are you doing? You married a cop who, he's going to find you.
It's called a self-saboteur. Actually, is it in poor taste? You know how Evangeline Lilly has retired from acting because of her mental health?
Yeah.
Tracks with this character.
Actually, I think you're saying it to be funny, which it is funny in a way, but also...
But it actually does.
But I think some of the backlash to her character and the way this character was handled by the writing, I think contributed to that. Because look at when she was in the Hobbit movies.
Contributed to her actual mental health.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of it got to her, and it's not her fault.
I would understand
at all, and that I feel bad about that. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong, but I feel bad she's had to go through struggles like that. The Hobbit thing, though, where she said because she came back for the reshoots because they added her in reshoots for the second one, and she said, "Just don't put me in a love triangle."
And then they did.
And they did. Pretty fast. Like, that's like the only reason she's in those movies. And that makes me feel bad for her. Really does. But
I don't remember anything about this episode.
I think she gets left behind.
Who's going to die this time?
Huh. Who's she going to blow up next?
Well, she's already gotten her stepfather killed. She's gotten her boyfriend killed.
No, not her boyfriend.
Her childhood friend?
Her childhood friend that she basically was going to ruin his life anyway.
Fair.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, she kind of wrecks everything, including her own life multiple times. Huh. She wrecked Nathan Fillion's life, because now the cops are going to be like, wow, how did this happen?
All for a stupid little toy airplane. I hate her.
Yeah, what a
not Evangeline Lilly.
Bad character. No,
but Kate.
Lily's fine. Kate sucks.
Actually, everybody on this island sucks except for Sawyer and
Hurley doesn't. Sawyer most definitely sucks, but he's just so funny about it.
That's fair.
And we'll put it this way: out of all those people to get tortured and beat up, it's kind of why we don't hate him, because like he's gotten his comeuppance multiple times.
Yeah.
He's gotten the crap beat out of him on this show.
He's kind of the one that He's kind of the one that gets the foil, isn't he?
You saying like his character is a foil?
Yes, but also is the one that can be bad and gets foiled. Because like I feel like other characters do bad things but don't necessarily get the consequences. But his get the consequences almost immediately, typically.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. That's a good point, yeah. Well, I can't say I'm ready to watch Left Behind, but...
Are you guys ready to be drugged through this?
Dragged through this?
Yeah. Or drugged. I mean,
we should be drugged through this.
We could be drugged.
That might make it a little more stomachable.
Stomachable.
Aaron, say stomachable.
Stomachable.
There you go.
Stomachable.
Learning the King's English.
Yeah.
Where we spell things that have a K with a Q-U-E.
Like arse. That's going to be the funniest thing I say all week. And I'm glad we got that on video. Are we ready to watch Left Behind, not starring Kirk Cameron?
All right. Let's get lost. Welcome back, everybody. We just got done watching a super important episode.
Oh, yes.
Episode
15 of season 3.
Left Behind. I think I would have preferred to watch Kirk Cameron.
Ooh, it's a toss-up.
What actually was accomplished in this?
Well, I think the episode is important in establishing that the others left and that Juliet has joined their group. You know how much of that episode that was? Probably 5 minutes. Because most of it was Kate and Juliet mud wrestling twice. That's and then the flashback means nothing. And then what's the B story, Jake?
Sawyer wears a Vote for Pedro sweater or short T-shirt.
Yeah, basically, Hurley cons him into being nice to everybody, and it's way more interesting than anything else in the episode because once the reveal happens, it's really funny, and I actually was liking that part of the episode.
Yeah,
you get to see him interact with some people he hasn't interacted with much, like Claire and Desmond.
I was wondering about that. Why would you look to Sawyer to be the leader? Why wouldn't you look to Desmond? He's been on the island for longer and clearly has more skills than Sawyer.
I think because they don't know Desmond as well.
Yeah.
And some people just, not that Desmond doesn't, some people just have that leader vibe, even if they've never voiced that. I don't know. It's like how some people you listen to, and others you don't. I have people like my dad and I get talked over a lot, and not that we.
You do, Aaron. What do you think?
See.
Sorry, I called you out on the carpet because I was making a joke at his expense.
No, I get it.
But like that, how there are just certain people get certain vibes, like nonverbal vibes, in like those social settings. So then my thought for Sawyer, like why would I be the leader? And Hurley's like, well, when the Nikki Paulo stuff happened, everyone kind of gravitated to you. And it's like, it's just this natural thing.
It's also a good indicator of a good leader when they don't want to be the leader.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot too.
And don't know why they want to be the leader or why they should be the leader.
Weird how that always works, isn't it? It's because how did someone say it once? Because they possess the knowledge of why they think they shouldn't be, it makes them the perfect candidate. It's weird how it works. It's like it's that awareness that clears them of any kind of misgivings or something like that. Someone said it once in something I saw. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. It's because they know their weaknesses or their shortcomings in that area, they're the perfect ones for it because they don't have too much confidence.
It also means that they're looking at it from a
neutral standpoint.
Yeah, like they're able to see the playing field for what it is.
Yeah, it's a good. They're self-aware is the big thing.
Yeah,
and that self-awareness is a very important trait.
The self-awareness leads to being able to elect people to cover those weaknesses that you see.
Yeah, and I mean he's also one of the three main characters of the show.
Well,
I already liked Hurley a lot, but I'm liking him even more this season. I think he's a fun character in the first season. He doesn't get a ton to do in that second season outside of the Libby stuff. Like, they start that, and of course, we saw it happen to Libby.
Yeah.
And then for a chunk of this season, I was starting to think, like, man, Hurley and, like, Chale and Claire, before their episodes, they weren't given a ton to do. And now in this home stretch of the season, they're starting to get stuff to do again. I mean, Charlie won't have much left to do.
Hey, no spoilers.
That's right. Well, I don't know. Somebody has a little splaining to do. Aaron?
What?
You want to tell the people about this episode? About your experience with this episode as of recent?
Yeah. That's 2 times I've seen it now in a couple months.
Oh, and why is that the case?
I don't think it was Tori that was watching it.
No.
You're cheating on us with another podcast.
No.
After all we've done for him.
We never got around to podcasting about it.
So tell the story to everyone. Like, why did you watch this episode a couple months ago?
Not much of a story.
Well,
I got my friend to start watching Lost for the first time, and I was, during our lunch times, watching season 1 and 2 along with him as he was catching up to us, and then he got ahead of us, and at one point he was watching this episode and I was working with him, so I watched this episode ahead of our timeline.
Where were we when you watched with him? What episode had we just watched?
We probably were
episode 11 of season 1.
No, I think we were like 4 episodes into this season.
Okay, so not too much, but you're like, oh, that's funny. We're kind of right there as well. But now he's finished.
Yeah, he's done with the whole thing.
What did he think of the whole show? Without saying too much ahead, just what were his reactions?
He was really into it for the most part. I think season 3 and maybe even 4 he was kind of down on. He was into it like season 1. Not that there's a ton of this, but the survival stuff was what he was mostly into.
And that takes a back seat as we get deeper.
Yeah.
That's kind of really just a season 1 thing.
Yep.
Because then 2 is the hatch and 3 is the other. Like, every season has a different focus.
And he, I think he liked season 5 fine, but he's pretty down on season 6 and the whole ending. Yeah.
Did he like the ending?
No.
Not at all.
I don't think so.
I was going to say, even all these years later, him watching it in his 30s, he's his 30s, I'm guessing he's like your age.
Yeah.
In his 30s, never seen it in our current, media landscape, still has the same reaction that the hoi polloi had when it came out, when you guys had to be seniors, I think we've talked about.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me how history repeats itself. So it makes me a little scared how we're going to react to it when we get there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish, going back to the episode, I kind of wish people just started disappearing, starting with Kate. Let's just briefly touch on her backstory in this episode. We know everything we need to know about her, and then now this whole episode is about her trying to talk to her mom. Does that sound correct?
Yeah.
And we spend multiple flashbacks setting up talking to her mom, which it's a fun little connector to have her run into Cassidy, Sawyer's old flame that he conned out of all her money, who's pregnant with his child at that point. And we finally get to the scene where they talk. And it boils down to...
Damage does a bad job of correcting damage.
Yeah, I think in the moment I was like... Because, Jake, you said it where... You're like, that's dumb. We're fighting stupid with stupid. Because Kate's whole, like, I was doing this to protect you, but not... Didn't we say, too, if Kate's angle was to get rid of the house and not him for some stupid reason that wouldn't work narratively, but it was an accident that she killed him, we'd at least feel something for her. But she's so nonchalant about murdering her, not even her stepfather, it's her actual father, right? They were told.
Yeah. And then
her mom is upset at her for good reason, and instead of the angle being you killed someone, you murdered someone and someone I loved, it's just the angle of, well, I loved him, and you can't help who you love, and I thought that's really dumb. You said something about like the timing of, because of the timing when the episode came out.
Oh no, it was just like, was this the time that we lived in when this came out? Because it's like, well, you can't help who you love. He beat you. What are you talking about? Like, I get that there's that attachment thing, and people, like, in abusive relationships do genuinely love their partners, but, like, I feel like we live in a time now where it's more seen.
Yeah, and, again, the angle shouldn't be just, I loved him. It should be, you murdered someone. You don't murder people to solve problems.
That wasn't self-defense.
Yeah.
That was for her. That was her vengeance. The whole love thing didn't have to be a part of it. It could have just been like, yeah, he was. But like you said, you don't solve like that. That wasn't to defend me. That was to get your vengeance.
It's an angle to that conversation that would have at least made the flashback work. Because Kate still sucks. But it would have made me actually go like, okay, I get why this is at least here in the writers' minds. It's her mom calling her out on her BS. But no, we still don't get her. She never gets called out on this, ever. Like, not a well-written character.
I wonder if they had originally written it like that, like what we're talking about, but someone in the studio was like, does that really work?
Like someone in the writer's room trying to figure it out. It's like, well, we have to have them talk, but we got to make sure Kate is still in the right. We can't call her out on this because we have to be sympathetic.
That's exactly what I wonder what the conversation was, because like the people that write this show, it's not like they're bad writers.
No.
Why is Kate such a poorly written character?
I don't know. I almost said like it could be is the whole writer's room men? No, one of the co-writers of this episode is, I assume, to be a woman. Like, there have been female directors and writers. Like, this episode is directed by a woman, even. So it's not like there's no female voice present. I have no idea how much of an overreach there is by producers and studio people. Like, I don't know. But there's at least a female voice on the creative side. Mm-hmm. So I just wonder why this one character sticks out like a sore thumb when it comes to backstories. Because Nikki and Paolo, I can get behind a dumb backstory for dumb characters to have a pretty disturbing death like that. But
I think that if I could, I think that I could get behind Kate's backstory because this is probably the last backstory of hers that we get before the turn into.
Yeah, I think it is.
Ocean. I think that I could get behind it more if there was a reckoning with her mother of like, you didn't do this for me, you did this for you. Or if like in every one of her episodes there was something like that where it's like, you're not doing, like when she was talking about Jack, and it was like, he stayed behind for me because he wanted to take care of me. It's this very, like, self-centered thing that the character just doesn't ever reckon with. And I think the flashbacks would have been justified had she realized that at some level.
Yeah, I just thought of that when you were saying it. Like, there's a good connection between the A story and the flashback where it could have been her mom calls her out in that way, and then when we go back, you have some kind of realization about her self-centeredness on the island, and that's how they match up. And the episode becomes not as still not as important to the overall narrative, but we get a character moment of she's realizing that she's kind of been awful and kind of been selfish, and that can work. That makes me like the character, but it makes the character feel more human. Is that a good way to say it?
It can also somewhat redeem her in the eyes of a viewer, because like if you look at a show like Breaking Bad, we've been talking about Breaking Bad because you guys have been watching it, right? At the end of that show,
spoilers for people listening who haven't watched it.
There is, I'm not going to say specifics, but there's a small scene between Walt and Skyler that I think offers him a bit of redemption, or at least a recognition of who he is, and that who he is might not be great.
Oh no, he sucks.
And I think yes, but he recognizes it, and I think that small shift of the needle propels the show for the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're saying when he owns up to it finally after all those episodes of saying I'm doing this for my family, and then he finally says I did it for me, and then I was good at it.
And then this right here, there's none of that. There's none of it.
Yeah.
It's we end with her crying, and it's like, I did this for you. I know I did this for you. No. Now that I'm deconstructing it in my head, it's even stupider.
Yeah. It feels like they can't let us dislike her, but we end up disliking her more because of how stupid
doesn't that feel like a studio decision too?
Yeah, it's like, well, we can't have our female lead be unlikable, but then they made her unlikable because of how she is thinking about and responding to what she's done. It's in any show, they stretch out when you figure out what she did, because that's one of the big what's the
reveals?
Yeah, like the thing, I can't think of the term right now.
Epiphanies?
No, it's like that's one of the story points that they stretch out. It's like a will they won't they thing with other characters, which they do in this show. They're kind of holding the bone in front of us for 2 seasons or whenever they tell it, and then they finally tell us what she did.
A golden carrot?
Something, there's a term, I'll think of it after probably, but they finally give it to us, and when we see what it is, we're like, okay. But then when her reasoning is put in, it's like, oh, now I really don't like her. I didn't like her before, but now I have like a reason, because she will not take ownership of this awful thing she's done in the way it should be. She's owning up to it in her own self-defense way, but she just has the wrong viewpoint and perception of her awful deed.
And maybe she does that later in the show. I doubt it, but maybe.
I don't remember anything else about her in the rest of this show. I don't even remember this episode at all. Nothing that happened in this episode made me words today. Nothing in this episode seemed familiar outside of maybe the end when Sawyer and Hurley, that reveal of the whole thing. I think that struck something, but everything else is like, I don't remember this episode at all. Not at all. So.
And she hurt Juliet, and that upsets me.
Oh yeah, I always talk about yells and screams in shows and how they can be really funny and really effective. When actors have to portray being in pain, I have noticed an overwhelming majority of them while doing a fine job, doesn't feel real. That crying and screaming from Juliet when her shoulder is dislocated, that felt real. I felt bad. Because, like, you hear the sound, you go, ugh, but then she's like, ah, like that. It's like, oh. It's like Florence Pugh when she screams and cries in Midsummer. It only happens like 3 times, but it's so memorable because of how good she is at doing it. And it's hard to take. I think we've said how, like, the way she cries at the beginning, where it sounds like something's like honking in her throat, because it's how many of us have cried so hard or been with someone who cried so hard that there's like their voice is so hoarse because of how much crying they've been doing. So that's what makes me think of. And when Juliet was crying out in pain, I was feeling something. I was like, oh.
Tell so much about the first shot in Midsommar. I feel like you can tell so much about who that character is going to be from that first shot.
Yeah. Great performance.
Well, because isn't it just tracking through the hall, and then you hear her crying, and because I feel like I remember her sitting like underneath a window in her bedroom or something.
It's something like there is, and then the reveal shot, of course, showing what has happened, and then it's the tracking shot or whatever, not the tracking shot. Maybe it might be a crane shot going over her as she's crying and making those noises, like that. The whole first scene sets the stage for that movie perfect. Like it's a bit bone chilling, like when Nikki's eyes open. Different, but that still is getting to me. It's because of the way they did it and how quick it is. It's still getting to me. So, but other than that, for Left Behind, not really anything else important that happened. Again, all the important stuff in the A story was about 5 minutes. And it's at the end of the episode. The flashback is pretty pointless, and then the B story, while fun, again it's just the filler side of the episode, which they have. So kind of a not a nothing episode, almost a nothing episode, but better than other Kate offerings we've had. Mainly because we get to see a lot of Juliet with Kate instead of just Kate crying to someone like usual.
We get to see them mud wrestle a couple of times.
That is true. I wish Juliet beat her up more, because she punched Juliet a couple times. I was like, no, Juliet, fight back. You flipped her over earlier in the episode. And then she ate that moldy bread off the floor. Ugh.
Yeah, she disrespected Juliet. She didn't even eat the sandwich.
She ate the bread. She ate the top of the sandwich.
Not enough.
Yeah. Those are my thoughts on Left Behind.
Those are my thoughts, too.
What about you, Aaron?
Yep.
Was this better a second time?
I wouldn't say that. I was good with the one viewing.
Well, now you've seen it 3 times, because isn't it
but that was
seen the season
many
only
years
once.
ago.
Yeah. Right. Did you see any other episodes without us?
No.
Okay, it was
It's
just
like it's like the reverse of Dickie, who didn't watch Finding Nemo.
his favorite one. Oh, that's a throwback. But different circumstances. But I would have actually preferred if Dickie went ahead and came back again, and then at least he watched it in that sense. If we want to go way back, remember he skipped that one, but then the other one he went out of order.
Didn't we yell at him for that, though, because he watched super ahead? And
he watched them out of order because he wanted to watch one of them more than the other, and we had to tell him, no, you got to go in order. Like, the whole point is to see the trajectory. But I'd rather he do that than not watch it at all.
That's fair.
So, yeah. Aaron, it was just the end of Expose and and then all of Left Behind that you saw? Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to note it somewhere on his spreadsheet. You will forever.
I should put it in somewhere, yeah.
I feel like I don't remember what he noted Dickie for, but it was some kind of glaring, like, Dickie watched this out of order. How dare he?
Yeah.
And then Dickie didn't watch this. How dare he?
His favorite one. And he skipped it.
And then what did he say to us? Oh, I've seen it enough.
I've seen it already. I've seen it plenty of times.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not the point.
I've seen it enough. Huh?
Huh?
I can't do it.
Well, Jake.
Well, everybody, those are our thoughts on this episode of Lost. If you want to venture along with us next Thursday, you can come on back and do so. We'll be watching the 16th
Yep.
Yes.
episode of season 3, and I can't read the title. The camera's in the way.
One of us. Google
One
gobble.
of us. One
Google
of us.
gobble.
And that is a Juliet episode, so
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah. 2 different extremes, right? We go from Kate to Juliet.
And then if you want to check out any of our other offerings on the internet, please, Jared, where can they find us?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, the funny TikTok, and Twitter. Take that, Musk. And then you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. And hey, if it's YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you ring that notification bell. Make sure you check us out and rate us on all those apps. And swing by our groovy website.
And other than that, guys, are you ready?
Yes.
Then let's get lost.